Good Shabbos, everyone. As we all know, this upcoming Sunday, 2 days from now, is Mother's Day. And sometimes as a rabbi, people will ask me, Rabbi, it's not a Jewish holiday. Are we allowed to celebrate days like Mother's Day? And before I tell the answer, let me start with a story that may give us the answer to whether or not we as Jews can celebrate days like this Sunday when we celebrate our mothers. As you know, the holiday of Shavuot is just 9 days away, the day in which traditionally we commemorate the giving of the Torah, the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. And the story is told that after the 10 Commandments were given to our people, the people of Israel, so long ago, the kings of the nations heard about God's first commandment, to believe in one God. And the kings of all the world were not impressed. They said, what ruler wishes to be denied? This God of the Jews, like any other king, commands that he must be acknowledged. Then they heard about the second commandment, not to worship idols. And they also remarked, is there any ruler who would tolerate another authority? This Jewish God, like all kings, wants to be worshipped alone. That's why he decreed that no one should serve other gods. And neither were the kings moved by the third commandment, not to use God's name in vain. They said, which king would want their subjects to swear falsely in his name? What does this Jewish God want it? He's not so impressive. And in similar vein, they commented about the fourth commandment, to keep the Shabbat. They said, of course, all kings like their special day to be celebrated. But when they heard the fifth commandment, to honor a mother and a father, all the kings of the nations, according to the Midrash, rose from their thrones and praised the God, the Jewish God, our God, admitting if someone in our circles is elevated to noble rank, he immediately denies his parents. But God acts differently. He commands that everyone honor their parents. When they got to honor thy father and thy mother, they suddenly realized that something was very different. In this principle, one of the cornerstones of our tradition, the fifth commandment, as I often remind my teenage children, is fundamental to what it means to be a Jew. There are countless stories in our rabbinic tradition about rabbis or about Jews and what they do to honor their mothers. For example, there's the famous story about Dima ben Nesina and how he lost a very lucrative sale of a precious stone the family had because he refused to wake his parent, who was napping on a pillow under which the stone was kept. In another story from the Talmud, a rabbi was at a synagogue with his mother, and as they left shul that morning, she broke one of her shoes. The heel of the shoe fell off, and the rabbi walked backwards all the way home with the pillow which he placed on the ground in front of his mother each time she stepped down on bare feet. The other rabbi said that even this, though what an extraordinary measure this man went by, may not have been enough to fulfill the mitzvah of honoring a parent. And on traditional households like I will do tonight, on Shabbat evening, every Friday night, the family sings the beautiful poem from the 31st proverb, Eshet Chayil, the poem dedicated to mothers that Jews have been saying for centuries in praise of all that she does and all that she is. After all, our mothers are responsible for our existence, if nothing else. How much then is honor enough? Yes, we as Jews don't have a traditional Father's Day or a traditional Mother's Day, but maybe we don't need them because we are obligated in one of our commandments. As I said, it's a cornerstone, a value, a superior value, a pillar of our tradition. And even though the secular Mother's Day and Father's Day are commercial constructs which are supposed to encourage the sale of candy and flowers and greeting cards, I like to think that these beautiful American civic holidays still have an important place as an opportunity to remember the fifth commandment, the great mitzvah, that too often I think we take for granted. If it was enough to give the ancient kings pause, it certainly is good enough for us. And like all of you, I love Mother's Day. And on Mother's Day, I love that day because we honor the women in our lives who gave us life. And whether they are beside us today or whether they have left this earth, they never leave our thoughts this Sunday. And we cannot help but utter praises of gratitude and thanksgiving for the gift of life they have given us all, for the lessons they have taught us, for the hugs and kisses, the Band-Aids, the special treats, the quiet time, and the joy of womanhood that they have shared with us. Recently, I met with the family at the passing of their beloved mother. And the two sons commented that, yes, their mother was very strict. But they wouldn't be successful today, they told me, if their mother didn't care so much. At the time when they were teenagers, they rebelled. But now, they told me with tears running down their cheeks that they owe all their success because they had a mother who cared so much. They now understand why she was so strict. How often do we do that years later when we realize that it wasn't strictness, but rather it was the way in which our mothers loved us. It was a way to show their care. It was a way to teach us to be adults. Yes, on Sunday we honor the great gift of life that alone gives one the title of mother. It is the mothers who nurture us, who cherish us, who raise us as children to go out and do great things in the world. And so, yes, fortunately, as Americans, we are blessed with Jewish holidays and great days like Mother's Day. A holy convocation, a sacred occasion, set apart to celebrate these women, to lavish them with attention, and to consider the intimate holiness, the greatest of holiness, that can be found between a mother and her child. Throughout our lives, we carry within us our mother's struggles and sacrifices, her hopes and her aspirations. And my friends, perhaps we need Mother's Day so that we never take our mothers for granted. So we make sure that Mother's Day extends to the next day and the next day, and to the many days that follow as we try, all of us, the best of our abilities to fulfill the Torah commandment to honor them always. So this Shabbat, we say thank you to moms all over as we celebrate our Mother's Day Shabbat this evening. So now I ask our mothers to rise as I share a blessing written by one of my colleagues, Rick Yeshurun, as we bless and celebrate our mothers. Avinu Shabbat Shemayim, our Creator in heaven, to our mothers, and to all the women who touch the lives of children today, we offer a heartfelt prayer of appreciation. Compassionate Creator, you endowed us with the wisdom to see mothers as more than the sum of their roles as birth givers and caregivers, is more than cooks or cleaners or carpool drivers and companions to make us feel special. We appreciate our mothers today for what they do for us, and we respect our mothers for who they are as individuals making choices. And as we go through the years, help us to learn from our mothers as role models and women, often changing the world for the better. Career women, out there not only as mothers, but many of them today, thank God, can also go out in the world just like men if they choose to work and flourish in their careers. And may all of our women, all of our mothers who touch and shape the lives of children be given the respect they deserve, O God. And may they look into the mirror of the soul and see themselves as reflections of the divine presence and nothing less. May God always bless our mothers this Shabbat, this Mother's Day, and every day. And to this let us say, Amen. And now please be seated as the cantor now blesses our mothers in his own beautiful way.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? With such a beautiful soul. I never thought that I would be part of someone as lovely as she. Isn't she lovely? She's my mom. Isn't she pretty? Truly the angel's best. I am so happy to have been heaven blessed. I can't believe what God has done, that I should deserve this beautiful mom. Isn't she special, filled with love? We love you, moms. And now a special surprise. We have two wonderful rabbis who are celebrating their birthdays this weekend, and we want to sing happy birthday to them. Please rise, rabbis. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Rabbi Sarah and Rabbi Brian. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Cantor. It worked out perfectly this weekend. It's Mother's Day Sunday.